I now invite the moderator for this panel discussion, Chairman of WSBF, Mr. Merzi Sodawaterwala. Let's give him a round of applause.
So firstly, thank you so much, Sharu. Really appreciate you hosting this forum for us, and you've done a great job. Consider yourself as the master of ceremonies forever with us. Your Excellencies, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends and partners, before I deliver my closing remarks, which I'll do shortly, I obviously wanted to have this much-awaited interaction with my friends and also people that I really, really admire for the contribution that they have made to an industry which is often treated as not important, if I may call it. It's unfortunate that that has happened so far, but the UAE has always led by example in driving the future. And today, as the UAE hosts, as we've heard from my colleagues, COP28 this year, and has declared the year of sustainability, we are very, very hopeful that this industry will get its due attention. Let me start by thanking our esteemed guests here and panelists. We also had Brian Hennessy, who is the chairman of ISRI, scheduled to be with us, but unfortunately, due to some personal matters, he couldn't make it. But he sent us his best wishes, and if we can just play the video.
Your Excellencies and esteemed guests, first I want to extend my sincere apologies for not being able to join you today due to a personal matter. I was very much looking forward to being here with you all. Unfortunately, circumstances have prevented me from doing so. Nevertheless, I'm very excited to be part of today's forum. I also must acknowledge Raji Bagsi and Merzi Sodawaterwala for their leadership and initiative to include recycling in the Global Material Recycling Association at this year's COP28 here. Today I want to talk about recycling and the recycled materials benefit not only the climate and circular economy agenda, but as a critical tranche of global sustainability. Recycled materials and the recycled materials industry are crucial to our efforts to protect our environment. By recycling, we significantly reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that devastate our atmosphere while conserving our critical natural resources. Without recycled material, our global decarbonization goals and actual circular economy initiatives are frankly not attainable. Furthermore, the free and sustainable trade of recycled materials is instrumental in expanding the benefits of recycling both locally and globally. It creates jobs and economic growth and promotes a more sustainable and resilient economy. Therefore, I want to make a clear plea to place recycled material and the recycled materials industry at the forefront of the discussion at COP28. It is essential to recognize the significant role that recycling plays in our efforts to address the global climate crisis and create a more sustainable future for generations to come. Lastly, I want to express how pleased I am with the continued success of Global Recycling Day, which is celebrated every year on the 18th of March. I want to extend a big thank you to the Dubai municipality for making this day so special. This day provides an opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of recycling. It encourages everyone globally to take action to protect our planet. So in conclusion, let us continue to work together to promote and expand the local and global benefits and importance of recycling. I hope to see you all at COP28, where we can continue our efforts to create a more sustainable and resilient future for all. Thank you.
So just to continue, we may have a few questions for our panelists here. So I'll start with Susie. Obviously, UAE is also, by the way, all about women empowerment, and we follow the same spirit of the nation. Susie, I wanted to ask you, how do you see recycling in the UAE being promoted?
The UAE has already embraced recycling, and they're well on the way to creating a large recycling industry. But what we found in other regions in the world is sometimes legislation goes ahead of what is actually practical. So I think the UAE will be pragmatic. They have a can-do attitude. So I think they won't overburden their industry with legislation. So that's important that they bear that in mind. Also, as Mr. Katriakis mentioned, eco-design is very important, that producers actually think about how their products will be dismantled at the end of their life.
My next question is for Mr. Ranjit Singh Bakshi, the founder of the Global Recycling Day. How can AI help facilitate the global trade of recyclables?
Interesting question, Merzi. And as we have talked about, the global trade of recycling is $1.3 trillion. Three things connect this trade. Number one is quality certification. Number two, having adequate shipping and logistic facilities and infrastructure. And number three, more importantly, is finance. I see this time that maybe UAE should take a lead here, is if we can use AI and blockchain together and start to create for the first time an NFT system of payments supported by DP World and others with a lot of shipping know-how that resides in this region. I think we can play quite a big part if AI is connected with NFTs and we are able to fund, secure, and provide better marine insurance facilities, better marine finance, so that we can in fact make the trade more streamlined and much more efficient. I think it's a big part to play.
I think that's a wonderful point that you made, and I really wish my co-host would have been here today. But he sent us his regards, and obviously this is something that he'll most welcome. Emmanuel, how do you see innovative practices helping growth of recycling?
Yes, so innovation is really at the core of recycling, because if you don't innovate, you cannot cope with the new products that are being placed on the market. You have innovation, for instance, when you use digitalization, we see that blockchain could be also a way forward to reconcile two kind of imperatives that both the businesses and policymakers do have. First, to protect confidentiality of the different actors, business actors, and also public authorities in the different procedures that have to be fulfilled when you want to transport waste for recovery purposes. And obviously at the same time, traceability. There has been a lot of discussion about plastics being improperly treated. And here, what obviously we want is to make sure that we build trust with consumers about what we do with what they put in the right bin. And on the other hand, that we protect the confidentiality that each actor must enjoy to do business in Europe, locally or globally. Point number two, there is a lot of innovation, obviously, in the processes that are being used. The materials that are being used are evolving. They are more complex. The products based on the markets are also more complex. I can tell you three very little stories. I mean, a company with whom we've been working, who is obviously a member and who is also has a leadership role in Europe, has 20 years ago worked on the recovery of plastics in cars. Ought to know eventually that cars are going to use 20-30% of plastics. The remaining part is made of metals and especially steel. And recovering plastics within cars is extremely difficult because you use different types of plastics in cars. That company has worked 20 years ago with a French automaker, also benefited from public support, to basically put in place a process that is going to separate by density the different types of polymers and then be in a position to recover them. Now, this kind of process is widely used by other competitors as well. But what we saw is that 20 years ago, most of the plastic to cars were landfill or incinerated. Today, we can recycle at scale, or recycle not already at scale, but we can recycle. We have the technology to recycle a number of polymers basically in cars. And that company, who is a Belgian company, who is an SME, has been selling now the technology to the largest Japanese car maker to build a plant there that recycles plastics into cars. And I have plenty of other examples. I mean, you mentioned, Mr. Baxi, the fact that e-waste is a growing concern. You have to know that e-waste generation is almost 53, 54 million tons per year. Only 17% is properly recovered. It means that 83% of e-waste is not recovered in a documented manner. I mean, in e-waste, you find everything. You find precious metals, you find obviously base metals, you find plastics, and so the potential here for urban mining is absolutely huge. We also work with companies who today are basically extracting polymers as well from those plastics to be able to make recycled plastics back into the same application into new electronics. And this is where you need a mix of policy intervention and industrial partnerships to make it happen between recyclers and obviously electronics producers wherever they are faced. Artificial intelligence, if you want to be able to sort different grades, different metal grades, you need to have machines that are going to go rather fast after the mechanical processing. And we see now some of our members as well who have invested into very sensitive separation and recycling processes that are using artificial intelligence to sort and recycle very efficiently by grades by level of contaminations that is absolutely essential then to be able to recycle and produce high quality recycled materials that the automotive sector, the electronics sector, the construction sector do need to fulfill their transition as well. And this is why we cannot speak about circular economy and climate without linking both. They go hand in hand.
Oh, I think fantastic. We were just earlier having a discussion with one of our strategic partners, the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, and it was so good to hear from them that there is so much that AI can do in the application of recycling. And hopefully with the partners that we have on the stage, and also Brian, who couldn't join us today, and of course the collaboration and the collective action of all stakeholders, I think we can create and reshape the sustainable future of the new world economy. Any last comments from you, Susie?
I just wish to thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.